Welcome to the Scale Your Insurance Agency podcast, where top-tier executive, leadership, and sales coaching is amplified by AI and automation for maximum ROI. Hey everyone, it's Mike Stromsoe, and welcome to the next episode of the Scale Your Insurance Agency podcast. Today we have a very special episode. I am the founder of the Onyx Agency Operating System for high-achieving independent insurance agents, and I have one of our team members, one of the four legs of ELSA, with me today, Mr. Jesse Parenti. Jesse, how you doing, sir?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. We want to dive deep today on why generalists lose. Why generalists lose. When I say that, Jesse, what comes to your mind?
Well, the first thing for me is the reason of losing is it's time. What people don't realize is the time suck that happens, that every time that you have to learn, and when I say learn the exposure, learn the carriers, learn how to underwrite it, learn the problems. That's learning, which I'm all about learning. But I'm all about learning one thing and doing it over and over and over again. So to your point, why generalists lose is you are constantly in a state of learning and never achieving or accelerating in anything you're doing because you're not great at it. You're okay at best. And you're pivoting to the next thing that's coming to you. And in the process of, you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy, you're reactive versus being proactive. And ultimately, you can't really separate yourself from State Farm agent or an independent agent or anybody because you're doing the same thing that everyone else is around you.
Yeah, and we talk about this a lot in our team sessions. You can't scale complexity. You can only scale simplicity. And so simplicity wins, less is more. And back to the old adage, right? Jack of all trades, master of none.
100%.
So there's a pain out there where producers, which is your specialty, you train as the sales coaching arm, the niche specialist arm of ELSA, within Onyx, the agency operating system. Producers who sell anything to anyone sometimes become quote machines, right?
Well, they're a quote machine. They're transactional.
Okay.
And
yeah.
from there, that's the disconnect. What I teach in our program is ultimately, one, how to actually identify your skill set, your moral fiber, your superpowers, and then align that with ultimately a commercial niche. Now, some people have even landed into high net personal lines or even financial products. It's really what drives your passion, because when teaching any of our students in the past or even in the current Onyx program, it's about your passion. And your why is really what drives that. And I always tell people the why has to come from love and drive and desire for helping whoever you're with, because quoting in my is a joke to me. That's the last thing I do. I don't quote anything. I ultimately want to get hired by the client and basically separate myself on what I do and why I do it differently. And these are the processes that we train and teach within our program. First, identifying your niche, and then we build your foundation. Then once we lay on your foundation, we build on your habits, we build your principles, we build and we build and we build. And I would tell people, it's not easy. We just can get there at an accelerated rate now with technology, the use of AI. What took me 20 years, I built $2 million niches over 2 decades, 10 different years. I'm 21 years into specialization. You can do that in 3 years now. You don't have to learn by fire. And what's awesome is just the ability to take my skill set, add it with technology, add it with AI, and then you put an individual's drive into it. Nothing should stop someone. Anyone can become an authority in anything that they truly want to. It's a matter of hyper focus, drive, and direction, and pig-headed determination to not accept anything other than success. For me, I had a great opportunity last night. I was at a mixer, and I had someone I hadn't seen in over 5 years, and we kind of were staring at each other in an unawkward way. And she walked up to me and she goes, "I don't want to seem weird or that I'm staring at you, but I think I know you." And I said, "I think I know you." And ultimately, it came down to hard grassroots work I was doing 5+ years ago at the Capitol and in the city of Sacramento and in the city of LA, creating credibility that who I am 5 years later because I've stayed the course and kept doing the work and kept doing the grassroots. I am the one person in the room now that everyone knows. I am the one person that everyone goes, he's been here longer than everybody. He's actually the one and only person you need to talk to. That is what I teach. We do not do anything. We do one thing, and we do it better than anybody else. And that is why we are the source. You are the authority. You are the credibility. You are who people refer to. And as you build this credibility, and this is what I teach, is it's a matter of how you leverage that in 6 months, year chunks of first year, you're presenting yourself, then you're getting speaking opportunities, then it's podcast, that's writing, and it's all of it because it's all social proof that comes from a third party, not you talking about you, it's everyone else talking about you. And 100% I had a client last night that cheerleaded for me. So it had happened so well. And to my point, not to ramble, hyper-focus, direction, and do the same thing over and over and over again is how you separate yourself.
No, I consider that reinforcement. Sometimes we need to reinforce things. Speaking of reinforcement, I just want to clarify, Jesse mentioned not one, but $2 million niches. We're talking revenue here, folks. I just wanted to be crystal clear about that. So, ultimately we've learned niche equals speed, pricing power, especially once you ramp up that credibility and build relationships, more introductions, aka referrals, and the cool thing about it, you have predictable pipelines. That's a good place to be, right?
Well, ultimately, and I'm in the position where I choose every account that I work on, and I disqualify more than I actually write. I don't write a lot of business, but the accounts I write are large, and some of them are large, long vested. I created some ground last week on 3 accounts. I've worked on them for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
So staying in front of them, saying the same messaging. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm ready for you when you are. And because of the positioning, I have products now that no one else has. So that's the other thing that happens with specialization is you're able to build relationships either with the carriers and make them your partner, or you're in a lane like I'm in now where I actually build self-insured groups and captives, and I write my own script. So it ultimately comes down to the trust and credibility that you build in your career that becomes your foundation to change the game, to be honest. Stop quoting anything and get hired by what you do and do different.
Wonderful. And it's a wonderful place to be. So that pipeline, and in some situations, depending on your ideal client avatar or ideal client profile, you need to start further out than 90 days. So that's where Jesse, really hones in and helps you specialize in identifying that and helps you lay out the roadmap for how you're going to get to where you want to be. But, the other thing that niche does, it beats hustle because you're building faster trust, which is what you were just describing, based on what happened last night and in Southern California as well. You have higher closing rates and, again, better introductions to other people in the industry. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's in a funny way, it's the 10,000 hours, 10,000 reps. It's the muscle memory and time there that creates the credibility. You can't fast forward earning trust. You still got to do it. But what I will tell you is you can get the reps in faster now with the focus and understanding what and where you need to be. I also will say that just in the prospect of when you're not everywhere and you're one place consistently, like you said, Mike, the leads are consistent. I know enough about my space that I know every carrier. I know every coverage, every exclusion, everything that there is to know about my industry. So within 5 minutes, if I walk them through my process, I literally can either have them tell me their carriers or physically look at them, and I know for a fact, good, bad, or indifferent, the carrier could be the right carrier, but the broker's written the coverage wrong. Ultimately, I always say full transparency, let us do what we do. And that's what I teach is a totally different process. We don't quote you. I literally teach the process of broker record letters or agent of record letters, AORs, BORs. You take control of the marketplace. And then from there, you do your work over a 12-month calendar with a commitment on both levels. Certain geographic areas, they don't work because you're working on regional carriers. There are strategies to play on this, and it's about having a better narrative when you go to market versus quoting. It's everything that we do. I have learned over the years that I've had people tell me that carrier will not quote them, and I will bring a narrative and a completely different file than they've ever seen, and I will get terms. And there's nothing different I'm doing other than putting in more work. I'm not lazy. I go above and beyond what's needed. I make the underwriter's job very easy, and I basically make them give me what I ask for. And when I ask for things, I always validate. Don't ask for something without asking, giving something in return to help give the underwriter peace of mind. And these are, once again, the tricks and things that I teach in our class and how I actually help producers navigate and basically learn how to move faster, quicker. I mean, between the Rolodex of my trusted people, you don't want one of anything, you need three. So if you can have 3 HR people, 3 safety people, 3 bankers, 3 lawyers, and have this Rolodex in your industry because you've done one thing and you've built this. You can't do this if you're a generalist. You can't. Everyone's scattered when you're doing one thing. This is how you build that tool belt. I love going against Aon and Gallagher and IMA. They can't compete because what I do is so unique. They're big houses, but they cannot do what I do. So it allows you to build a defense against anybody and basically build a confidence that you are untouchable and there's no one that you can't work with if the insured and you are on the same page.
Absolutely. That agility, that ability to quickly adjust where necessary. And case in point, we talk about it in the marketing side, make it easy for people to give you money. What you just said, you're teaching the underwriters to make it easy for you to, you're teaching the underwriters for them to make it easy to give you money. In other words, to help you write the account so you can get the money. But it's a different mind shift and mindset that you're building within this confidence realm. I love that stuff. I want to share with you.
I don't want to cut you off, but I want to piggyback something you taught me years ago. You always have a no and you only get a yes by asking. That logic from me, I took from how do I get a yes from an underwriter? I give them everything they need and more than they've ever asked for. When it comes to auto, we over the top give them safety controls. If the insured doesn't do anything, we still provide it because we're going to implement it. If they don't have a loss control system, we implement it. We give the answers the underwriter wants as a yes and then implement it with the client. As long as you're and the client on the same page, there's nothing you can't solve. Insurance is a widget, everyone. It's not the main thing. I sell HR, I sell safety, I sell insurance, employee benefits, financial products. What's the problem? Solve the problem, earn the trust, and wrap everything else in.
Problem solved is an opportunity for sale. So I want to encourage everybody here. I picked up something in my early morning study outing this morning. The reason people are not able to operate in the future, meaning as your future self and your future business that you aspire to be, is because they are grounded in the past. And I intentionally slowed down when I said that because I want that to sink for just a minute. Because if we keep doing things the way we've always been doing them, we're going to get the same old results. So I hope you're going to take everything that you're learning today and think about things differently. So Jesse, let's talk about the quote machine trap and how it can destroy producers' confidence. And I'm thinking about an event that happened when we were teaching agents and producers about niche marketing and niche marketing mastery and sales in San Diego. And we're at a break. And I was sitting out in the hall minding my own business, and you said, I got to take a quick call with a prospect. And I thought, this will be good. So I sat in the chair right there in the hall and just watched the whole thing unfold. Well, what ensued after that, I could hear your side of the conversation, but it was very clear to me that that prospect was saying, well, I'm waiting for the terms, et cetera, et cetera. And you quickly said, sir, I asked you to bring me a copy of your current declaration pages. I asked you to bring me current loss runs. I asked for this. I asked for this. I asked for this. You did not bring it to the meeting. That's why I ended the meeting. When you're ready to bring me what I need, then we will get to work. So what does that do for a producer's confidence when they operate in that realm?
It's a hard line to do because the first time I did it, it scared me. But I will tell you, it's the most empowering thing in the world. The power of saying no will get you more yeses. Because what happens is you cut out the noise and you're only focusing on people that are actually serious. Unfortunately, in our world, we have a lot of tire kickers. So we have to figure out a way to how do we disqualify people that honestly want to treat you like a used car salesman when you're not, and they don't understand the level of who you are. And I don't care if you're a 2-person small boutique agency or you're a $10 million revenue agency and you got 40 employees. It's the same thing of making sure that you're doing what no one else is. I hate to say it, just everyone's lazy. And a lot of people just aren't willing to do the extra part that's needed. And from that, back to what I would say is that's where the focus comes into. And when you have focus, it's locking your time down and you're doing what I call money generating activities. And if it's not money generating, then respectfully, if you're a producer, how can it be delegated and getting off your plate? So you're only focusing on money generating activities. So that's the other thing is if you're always thinking what you got to do and you lock down your time, it's actually very easy to be successful if you're focused on one thing. If you're trying to do all these things, like I always tell people, if I had to learn 30 different things over 30 days, I could do it, but I wouldn't be very good or have much knowledge about anything. But if I learned one thing for 30 days straight, I guarantee I'd be nails in 30 days. That's what I teach. We just do it even on steroids, and you hammer, 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 because we put out, we create, we build this platform. And what I'm really big on is I want someone to say, why you? And you give them an avalanche of their own self-reasoning, whether it be video, LinkedIn, content, white papers, case studies. This is what we've done. Here's my portfolio of clients. They'll come to the reality of like, you're the person I need to hire, and we're not quoting our insurance. That's what we do. We don't quote anyone's insurance. We get hired. When you're quoting insurance, you become a transaction, not a relationship. And you can be replaced just like any other vendor. You want to be thought about like CPA, attorney, banker. That's the portfolio you're in. If you're thought about anything outside of that, you're a transaction.
We were trading information on a brand new worksheet, we'll call it, within the niche realm this morning, about 3 uniques or points of differentiation. And as I was listening to you describe that, great job, by the way. Imagine, you're the producer on an account, great account, ideal client, avatar account, significant revenue on the account, maybe $25,000 in revenue on the account, solid in the agency. Let's say something happens with the agency and it's your account, right? You want to become such the expert, such the authority, such the dependent on go-to resource for that account that there's no way that they can possibly easily change, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm very embedded into my accounts. And,
yeah.
I was saying earlier, last night I had a client of mine, which doesn't happen very often, but a client literally walked me around a room and introduced me to 3 people and said, no one wants to talk about insurance. This guy's for real. He saved me more money than anything. He's got something that no one else has got. You need to talk to him. And literally people took my phone, and it was like, you can't have a better situation. So that's kind of what we're striving for is you create the space, you create the attraction, and then the need, and then you just deliver. And rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
what they provide can't be replaced, is what I was really trying to say. So yeah, absolutely. So when choosing a niche, and you and I are extremely fortunate, and I think this was probably one of our early connectivity points, if you will, because we both grew up in the restaurant industry. We both love to eat. We both love, fine foods, et cetera, et cetera. But how can we help an agent that may not have that background? Where do they look for a possible niche? And what kind of market signals should they be paying attention to, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, I personally run my students through a whole analysis. It's a 2+ week discovery process where we have them go through a deep analysis of themselves. Then from there, we have a very distinct prompt that we drop that into it. And it ultimately comes back with an analysis that gives them their superpowers. And then from there, we gives them their values. Then from there, we take that and embed into another prompt, which gives them their superpowers. Then that analysis helps them go, oh, this is who I am. I'm altruistic. I have these type of attributes. And then what's crazy is we take that and put it into another prompt, and we identify with that analysis of who you are as an individual and line it up with industries that naturally pull on you. Now, I will tell you, the first run doesn't always work because sometimes it comes back with general information. Then we run it a couple times. But what we have been able to identify is, wow, I never thought about that. And then it's really personal conversation that I have with the students going, guys, I don't want respectfully a half-ass anything. I want you all in on this. You just never thought there was a shot. A great example I had was one of my old business partners. He is a river rafting like junkie. He does class 5 rivers, kind of scary stuff he does. He's on different rivers all over the United States. About 4 or 5 years ago, he goes, I really want to see if we can do this. And we identify this. And this is while we're doing cannabis and we're doing pizza. He went from year one, we identified there's 780, I think, river rafting companies in the United States. Very hard to write business. Like 1 or 2 carriers will write it. All said and done, first year he wrote 2 accounts. These are like $50,000 revenue accounts. Are big. Everyone, because the liability is so big, or people can die every time they're on a river, and you've got 10 trips going a day. So these accounts are bigger than we anticipated. He wrote like 50% of the United States in 3 years. Wow. He has a huge niche, and no one touches it because it's hard to write. So, the niches I was in, born into food like you, then I fell into pizza delivery, very hard space, learned commercial auto, learned non-owned auto, learned the exposures of that. Then when I got lucky, went to a very challenging other space, was one of the very first brokers in cannabis. That is an industry that is ever changing, ever evolving. I also will tell people, going into something that everyone else is in is not really the easiest thing. If you can actually identify something hard and sink your teeth into it, you got to go one. Because if it's hard to write, no one else is. If there's limited access, no one else is going to try. Pizza delivery is one of the hardest things I ever did. It was major transactional business, but we learned how to actually make it more efficient, add technology, do what no one else did, and then we blew it up. We literally took something that was terrible and that Fireman's Fun and Willis had been running for, 8 years, and we turned into a gold mine within 12 months.
Yeah, but the thing is, take us back to that moment. I mean, there has to be like a Friday afternoon or a Monday afternoon or whatever that moment was, or maybe Saturday morning, when you realized that the key to your entryway to that entire industry being the pizzeria business, and you took that specific thing that you solved the problem for and moved it to cannabis because they had the same problem. It was the delivery piece. It was the non-owned auto piece. But it was the technology piece of all of that that really shifted everything and sent the tipping point downhill in your favor, right? Do you remember the moment that happened? Give us the short version of that.
No, I'm honestly, Mike, I remember calling you and saying, I got this restaurant. They do pizza delivery. And you said, really, it's a restaurant and they have this commercial auto exposure. And then from there, a light went on. I'm like, this commercial auto thing, it's kind of unique. It's got symbol 8 and 9. The people are driving their own vehicle. They're not even driving their own vehicles. And there's very limited carriers, like 2 or 3 that write it. My company was writing it. I think at the time we were 30 or 40 pizzerias. And then we made the Willis acquisition. And we basically acquired their DOS-based software, which we became one of the big five, which was like Brown & Brown, I think Higginbotham, Epic, and a couple of brokers. We all had the Fireman's Fund program, which was roughly about $25 million in revenue between the five of us. We were the smallest piece. But what we identified, being a young, sharp, tech-based company in the Bay Area, they were using a DOS-based system that was 20 years old. A physical person had to touch it to have it work, and when a person did it, it didn't work. And every time we actually talked to clients, they would complain that we get notified a week after the fact, like we're always in reaction. And I remember me and my leadership, Brian and James, we literally gave the slogan, "We believe in a better way." And we took CSR 24, which was applied, actually we took CertTrax, which was one of Applied Systems, and it was a calendar tracking system which tracked expiration dates. Well, with the HNOA, you have to track the insurance expiration dates and the driver's license. At that point, we said we're going to build our own software. We developed it and launched it 3 weeks later, and it was very archaic, but it was better than anyone else ever had. And at that point, we started changing how commercial auto was underwritten. I actually took distracted driving and made it a major violation, which still this day is no one else has ever done, even though it's the number one cause for death and accident in all of commercial auto, and changed how commercial auto could be written because it's still very unprofitable no matter where you look. My book's always been profitable because what we've done is taught our customers how to hire a better employee, retain a better employee, you train a better employee, you're not turning them over. And then from there, the system, we had it all used with technology. The updates go right to the employee takes pictures, they send it to our software. Our underwriters have secured login to audit us. That was another thing. We had the carriers that spend about $30,000 to come to us twice a year, audit our files. We said, if we build a technology and give you a backdoor secure, you could audit us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Is that beneficial to you? The answer was not only yes, but from there, we proved we could generate more revenue. And we ended up picking up a couple more points because we started driving more profit on both ends. So solve this problem. Don't think about insurance, and you will benefit because you're taking the solution to the insured. And if it's really a solution, the carriers will pick up on it, and you can separate yourself from anybody else.
That excites me. I'm glad. Thanks for resharing that story. I'd forgotten about pieces of it, but that's the core message that I'm working on right now that I'm getting ready to share with the industry in a big way. When technology does the work of machines, people finally get to do the work of humans. And that's exactly what you guys did so long ago. Well done. I mean, and it gave the carriers the confidence. It opened up doors with multiple other carriers, and you had the fast lane that nobody else had. Well done. So positioning language. Let's give people a couple of quick tips today. Moving from we shop rates to we solve X. What do producers and sales leaders need to be thinking about in that realm?
I'm simple. I solve problems. I tell people I'm a Swiss Army knife. That's what I am. I literally solve problems. I come in. This is what I teach. Is teach an analysis approach. I'm an OSHA 30 guy. I believe in safety. I see safety. I'm really big on on-site inspections because it's great for learning and earning trust. And from there, it ultimately helps you see things different than when you're behind your desk. I'm really big on doing what no one else is willing to do. Your learning accelerates, your verbiage accelerates. And for me, I'm a broken record. You hear me, you know me, Mike. I say the same thing over and over again because it's what works. It's also what matters. And I'm looking at things I did 10 years ago with Pizza Assurance. It still applies today when I watch the videos. Best practices are best practices.
That's right. Sometimes success and achievement doesn't change too much. The basic principles are always there. How we deliver and what we do, those are the things that change. That's why we're so proud to have built the agency operating system. So lastly, what changes in prospecting when you go down the niche road versus going down the generalist road or pathway, shall we say? The pathway is thinking, right? You come to the fork in the road, you have two pathways to follow. You can go down the niche pathway or you can go down the generalist pathway. What changes? Because you've done that, you've built it. There's some great benefits to doing that. And we were talking before we started this morning. I was on with an agency yesterday, a budding Onyx agency. And I will never forget that agency owner when we were talking about niches and sales teams, etc. And we unpacked a couple of quick opportunities within her book, which will be coming your way. And I could see it in her eyes. She goes, aha. I said, what happened? She goes, when I start building the niche, every time one of my production people needs something, they won't come to me and say, what carrier should I go to? Because we'll know all the carriers and we'll own that pathway. Why is that awesome?
Well, one, back to my point of not relearning. You learn every problem when you're in the same lane. Something that I'm really big on teaching my people is identify the top 40 problems of your exposure and then solve it. Mm-hmm. Finding the top 40 problems they're going to have from everything they could have as a business owner, then solve it for them. That way you have the answer, or you can bring up questions to identify pain that they may not want to disclose. The other aspect is when you are working with 1, 2, 3 carriers. With pizza, I had 2 carriers, and actually I probably had 5 when it came to everything, auto excess, but it's the same carriers. And you build repetition, you build relationship. You get the silver bullets. You get them stacked in your pocket because you consistently bring better business than they get from anybody else. And every once in a while, when you got a piece of crap, you get hooked up. You actually have a savior because you can still do what no one else can do and fix it. I'm dealing with one right now. I literally have an account that is hairy. It's got a mod of 150. I did an analysis on it. They have 5 years of clean history and 1 year of bad. And the bad year is 3 bad post-termination claims. So really they got 2 real claims. We are looking at it completely different. We're underwriting it differently. And because of my program, I said, we'll win. And we'll still get way more rate than we normally would on our normal accounts, but we're going to save them probably 30, 40% off of what they get the guaranteed costs, and now they own a piece of it. So it's a lever that I've got to no one else has got. If I believe it's a good thing, we pull a trigger. You're just quoting, going everywhere. You just don't have that ability to do things that you can do when you focus on one lane, one space, building relationships with underwriters and prospects and COIs. It's all the same. You're building in one lane to become the authority. And there's no way you can do that as a generalist. It's just impossible.
Dude, I am so stinking excited because what you have done, you have earned the right to come to the table. You built the captive arms, you built the self-insured arms. You now understand that, but you've attracted that opportunity as well. So now you can do things that other people just can't do. And now what I'm really, really excited about is now you're teaching agency leaders, agency production teams exactly to do exactly what you have done as Onyx agencies. Again, Jesse Parenti is our niche specialist sales leader within Onyx. The 4 arms of our agency operating system is ELSA. Executive coaching, leadership coaching, sales coaching, and then our automation technology powered by AI team. And Jesse is the S. So Jesse, great job, man. I know you're getting ready to kick off a brand new quarter with some amazing producers across America. So I can't wait to hear about their results. And I know you guarantee that. I just want to end with this. And I want to hear what you have to say, and we'll wrap this up today. If you want to make good money, go ahead and keep being a generalist in commercial lines. If you want to make great money, do niche business. And we've been talking about that. But if you want to make crazy money, do program business. And that progression that you just walked down that pathway is where you're at. You're at the crazy money end of the path.
Well, one of the blessings, no, I'm beyond blessed. And the other thing what's really awesome, Mike, is because of the position I'm in with you and with Onyx and even with everything I've built the last 21 plus years, I'm now able to open doors for agencies that I work with to create these doors and open opportunities. I have a couple agencies that are now tapping into my self-insured groups and they are literally leading with these products because no one else has it, and they changed how and what they do. And I always tell people, do what no one else can do. You can take a VOR and everything else and wrap it, but lead with a product that no one else has got so you can feel confident. And that's the other advantage is my tool belt's big, and I get to help introduce people to help your agencies also expand and separate themselves.
So excited. So excited. Such awesome stuff. Thank you, Jesse. Can't wait
you.
to continue to impact agencies' lives personally and professionally. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Scale Your Insurance Agency podcast today. If you'd like to learn more about how Jesse and our ELSA team can help your agency with our agency operating system, the One Solution, in the show notes, there's a link for an Onyx scaling session. It's not for everybody, but if you want to see if you qualify, go ahead and click that link. And if you do, we'd love to jump on an Onyx scaling session, learn more about your current situation, and see how we can help you scale your insurance agency. Jesse, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you as always.
Oh, appreciate you. All right, everybody. Until the next episode. Jesse, what's the one word, baby?
Win.
Action. Action and win. Okay. I say action, you say win. Winning action is it. All right, everybody. Check the show notes, and we'll see you on the next episode.